G'day there guys, Markee here, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Arsehole? Am I the Arsehole for ruining Thanksgiving? So I met my boyfriend 3 years ago. Before me, he was together with his high school sweetheart. They fell out of love and broke up. A year later, we started dating. His mum, however, was still heartbroken about it. I was very understanding and thought she needed time to get to know me. The ex basically grew up with them, and they saw her as a part of the family. For the first year of my relationship, his mum would call me the ex's name, until boyfriend got angry once and told her to be nice. She laughed it off and said that it was just a habit. After that, she started calling me the wrong name. Janet instead of Jenny. Fictional names just for the story. I corrected her a couple of times, but she seemed to like hurting me, so I ignored it later. My boyfriend has 2 sisters, and a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving, we were invited to barbecue at the older sister's house. I was in the kitchen with my boyfriend's mum, the sisters, and one of their husbands. The older sister then talked about how my boyfriend praised my cooking to her husband, and the mum was listening. She then said out loud, "Sure, why don't we let Janet make the turkey this year?" The sisters giggled and looked at each other and I said, "That's a great idea." I didn't tell my boyfriend what happened. On Thanksgiving, we went to his mum's house with the usual wine and dessert. She was shocked. Everybody was shocked. I said, "What? I thought Janet was bringing the turkey." There was yelling, crying, and then we got kicked out. My boyfriend is so angry with me, he hasn't talked to me since. I think it's over, to be honest, but I still don't think that I did anything wrong. Did I? And now in the comments, thunderous applause. You are my favorite arsehole for this. My absolute hero. Not the arsehole. I think it drove the point home. Your boyfriend should have been sticking up for you more, but this was a good final F you. Seriously, that coward. On a bright note, this is great closure. The mother will now forever remember OP. This guy is 30 years old, and not just letting his family talk to OP like this, but siding with them. Long wet fart sound. Hope he enjoys his loveless marriage to his childhood ex when mummy berates him back into it. Nah, that girl bounced a long time ago. She's too smart to get roped back into this crap show. Not the arsehole. Your boyfriend's mum is clearly trying to sabotage your relationship. Your boyfriend needs to stand up for you and put a stop to it immediately. As for the turkey, again, that's ridiculous, and they knew exactly what they were doing causing that drama. Seems like OP's mum succeeded in destroying the relationship since OP thinks it's over. Good riddance to that relationship. Boyfriend never put a stop to the bullying to OP. He's just as bad as his mother and sisters. Not the arsehole. This family sounds like an absolute nightmare fuel. If my future partner's mother tried to alienate me any chance she got, I would have had the same reaction. There is only so much hatefulness a person can take. I genuinely feel so sorry for you in having to go through that. It must hurt a lot. Your boyfriend should have had a sit-down talk with her ages ago about boundaries and being kind to you, which shouldn't even have to happen in a relationship. I'm glad you stuck up for yourself and made her feel like an idiot because she is one. Your boyfriend should have stuck up for you anyhow, considering it's out of your hands to be respected. OP replies, he tried to correct her a few times, but she gave a half-hearted apology. Now he just rolled his eyes. I have, or had, very little interaction with his mum for obvious reasons. Now he just rolled his eyes? So, mum is manipulative sometimes, and we try to tell her to do better, but she eventually wins. Yeah, he's gonna wonder why he can't ever keep a girlfriend around. I don't know about you, but I think the mother is a Sith Lord. Our next post is titled, Am I the Arsehole for refusing to apologize to my husband in writing after I cancelled all his family invitations to a Christmas celebration at our house? So to give some context, I've been married to my husband for 4 years. I work a full-time job while he does a 3 times a week night shift. We have a 2-year-old and I am 6 months pregnant. This whole drama started days ago. My husband has a large family, and on every Christmas, they would gather at his father's house. My father-in-law passed away a year ago, and this year, my husband decided, as the man of the family, to host Christmas at our house. Unbeknownst to me, he sent out invitations for a 5-day Christmas celebration to his entire family, which are about 26 members in total. I found out by accident, and I was too shocked to react. I confronted him on it, and he said that I shouldn't be surprised and just get used to it, because after his father's death, he is now the family's head, and all major family events will be held in our house and in his presence. I freaked out and said no, this is wrong, and he should have talked to me first before sending out any invitations to his family, knowing I have other commitments like work and taking care of the house and our son. He said we'll manage if I took time off work, but that means more workload later, and it'd take away from my maternity leave. I demanded he cancel the invitations, but he refused, saying over my dead body, and then walked out. I ended up sending a mass text to everyone who received an invitation, explaining that we will not be hosting Christmas this year. He found out and went off on me, calling my behavior outrageously appalling, and said that I broke his word to his family and made him look small and with no authority. I, in a very strict tone, replied that I didn't sign up to host a celebration and accommodate 26 people while pregnant, taking care of a toddler, and working. And I don't care if he became the head of the family after his father's death, because it means nothing to me. He took offense to that and walked out almost crying. He later talked about how I disrespected his father and him with what I said, and demanded a handwritten apology for cancelling the event and for being insensitive towards him and undermining his authority in front of his family. But I said no apology from me in any form, and the issue was still up, especially with my mother-in-law giving me a stern talk about how out of line I was for disrespecting my husband's decisions regarding the holiday celebration with family. Edit to add to put this out there, he planned on sitting and telling stories of his dad while I handle everything, and his family believed that as guests, it's rude to ask them to help. And now in the comments, not the asshole. Is he delusional? A written apology? What are you, his servant? Jesus Christ, that's repulsive. The fact to saying that she made him feel small and with no authority shines a light on how he sees their relationship dynamic. Yes, very true. In fact, I'd file for divorce if my husband talked to me like that. The authority thing would make me feel physically sick. See her edit as well? Husband really seems to see her as a submissive figure over whom he should have complete and utter authority. It's obvious from the fact that he's the new head of the family, instead of the mum, that the family goes real hard on misogyny. Dearest husband, I am sorry that you do not consider me as a partner, and that you have operated under the misguided notion that I am a baby maker and child raiser that you can also task to organize, cater, and run complex and large-scale family events without consultation or consideration. I apologize for allowing an environment to exist that led you to believe that making such a big decision without discussing it with me and your resulting behavior and callous disregard for your pregnant wife could exist. Rest assured that this will not continue. All the best and happy holidays, your wife, who is going to have a nap while you cook us all dinner. Not the asshole. Unless your husband was planning on doing all the cooking, hosting, entertaining, and taking care of the kids, not the asshole. I would seriously probably leave my husband if he spoke to me like this, or acted this way. You are the one doing everything. If anything, you are the man of the family now. You work, take care of the kids, run the house. You are the one who has the authority, not him. And he comes from a family who thinks the same stupid stuff. I also probably would have carried on life as usual and let him deal with the fallout of having to cook and entertain, as he gave you no notice and you have a job and a life. I would show up home every day like a guest. Seriously, this man and his family are raising your children with the same mentality. Consider whether you want your kids to be like them. If you want to continue to endure this wild behavior, you can walk away and leave him to it. Unexposed is titled, Am I the Asshole for my sister ending her pregnancy and possibly her marriage? So I, male 32, have 2 older brothers, 38 and 40, and a sister who is 34. Note the age differences. Our dad passed away 5 years ago in our hometown, which is a more suburban town in Wisconsin. Our family was relatively modest when my brothers grew up, so they were cared for a lot by my parents' families, who were very conservative. My dad, personally, was not. By the time me and my sister were born, our dad's career was doing great and we were well off. Me and my sister have masters, while our brothers didn't go to college despite the funds and chances. My mum had been trying to set my sister up with a churchgoer's kid. This didn't progress until around the time my dad died, and my sister came back and helped with the funeral. My brothers' families are both in town as well. I worked in tech in China then, and live in San Francisco now, and since the funeral have been mostly low contact with everyone except my sister. Honestly, I was very close with my dad, and there was obvious favoritism towards me, which the others didn't like. So my mum and oldest brother now technically live in my house. My sister somehow ended up leaving her career and moving back. She married the man my mum set her up with in 2019. I was honestly in shock at the wedding. I really didn't ever see my sister living on a farm and becoming a stay-at-home mum. I knew for a fact my mum and brothers had a huge part in this, because there were a lot of "she's back home" posts. Later, I found out that she had pretty much given all her savings to her husband. Late 2020, my sister, straight out of the blue, started calling me and just chatting about things. I, of course, love this. Early in 2021, my mum told me she was pregnant. I immediately asked my sister about this, and she kinda broke down. In short, the husband has been abusive. She's broke, and my family and her in-laws haven't helped. My oldest brother wailed at her about how his wife went through the same thing, and my sister should stop thinking that she's special. The first time she called me, he had kicked her out of their home for complaining about their finances. This was fairly common. This is where I am the asshole. I basically yelled at her too. I told her that she had a career which she can still go back to, and I can help her move back to New York City, where she worked and studied before, and that the pregnancy wasn't the end of it, and there were other options. The next day, she asked me for $5,000, which I sent to her without asking. I didn't hear much after, and didn't intrude because it was a total mess. A month later, my sister told me she had gotten a new job in New York City and filed for divorce. The pregnancy is also no longer on the table. Now my family has been blowing up my social media, calling me all sorts of crap. I have in general called them crap back as well, and the home might be on the market soon. My sister needed to switch apartments and got a restraining order against her ex, and well, things aren't great. But I'm happy my sister is better. So, am I the asshole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I gave my own opinion without being asked. I shouldn't have gotten into it. Also, my family's reputation might be at stake in the town. Now in the comments, not the asshole. 2 words, abusive husband. You did her a favor. Not the asshole. Your sister needed you, and you were there for her. Keep your head up and carry on. You have done right by her. Exactly. He was there and did right by her when no one else did. OP, I was so ready to call you the asshole. I was so ready. But you are not, at all. You have done a really good thing. You helped her get her life back. And you helped her in a way that also gave her her self-esteem and dignity back, because you didn't tell her how to do it and let her do it herself. You did a really good thing, OP. You were not the asshole for helping your sister get out of an abusive relationship. You probably saved her life, especially since he is now stalking her in New York City. OP says, she has gotten help from friends at this point who all seemed very happy to have her back. We are not super worried about it, and the restraining order will help. I really hope she doesn't buckle under pressure. OP, you were the person that I needed when I was in a very similar situation. Thank you for doing what no one else would, and giving her the support and means to extricate herself. Continue being there for her. Check in on her. Make space for her to be honest with you about what's happening. She's going through hell, but it would have become a hell she died in if she'd stayed. I hope that she's able to cut your family out of her life and not look back. And OP says, yeah, I was so freaked out about her harming herself. I'm truly sorry that you were in a similar situation. Yes, I'm keeping up regularly with her. Not the asshole. I would probably kick your mum and oldest brother out of your house for how they treated your sister. OP replies, yeah, it's such a cognitive dissonance that I'm experiencing from them. On one side, we want to disown you for doing this. On the other, you're our family, so you can't kick us out. Yeah, they sound like miserable people. I'm sorry. As an older sister who always helps her baby sister out, I know your sister is thanking you for returning those small favors in a big way. Our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to cover up her body when strangers enter the home? I am fully aware the title sounds sexist, but hear me out please. My girlfriend comes from a wealthy background and grew up with maids, chefs, chauffeurs, etc. I was raised in a completely opposite environment and am still adjusting to dating someone like her. When we are not with her parents, we spend a lot of time at one of her apartments. Here's the issue. My girlfriend likes to walk around home barely wearing anything, which is fine. Awesome even. But she does this even when the help are around. For example, last month when her family hired a new driver for her, she stopped by the apartment to introduce herself. She was only wearing underwear. Keep in mind, this is the first time they've met in person. I felt awkward, he was visibly awkward, and she didn't give a crap at all. She was casually chatting to him while scrolling away on her phone. She does this all the time. She doesn't think she needs to wear any decent amount of clothes at all when people that work for her are around. She will casually walk around wearing just a thong or a tiny crop top. Just a crop top, nothing else. She even does this with complete strangers. One time she opened a door for the delivery guy wearing only a see-through gown. You could see everything. Afterwards, I talked to her about it, and she was utterly confused to why I felt uncomfortable. Then she laughed and told me to stop being a jealous baby. She even said that I am unreasonable. We had another discussion about this yesterday, and I told her that she probably wouldn't feel comfortable if I did the same. She said she doesn't understand why I care what her staff think, and that it never even crossed her mind that this is inappropriate. She told me that she only does this in the comfort of her own home, and not in front of actual people, i.e. people that don't work for her. She got kinda mad at me and vented to her friends. According to all of them, I'm weird for having a problem with this, and an asshole for telling my girlfriend to cover up. Somehow I'm the villain of this story. Am I really the asshole? Now in the comments, why are you with someone who thinks the help aren't real people? She sounds incredibly self-centered and inconsiderate to treat people who work for her like their feelings don't matter at all, adding the not the asshole judgment here. OP says, I asked her to explain what she meant by that, and she just laughed it off and said that I know what she means. I did not. I think you do though. She sees those people as below her and not real people with real feelings that matter. It says a lot about her character. And also, if she feels lonely one day, they are there, and she's already half undressed. At this rate, the nihilists are going to kidnap her to try to get more money from the Big Lebowski. Not the asshole. She sounds classist AF. If she believes being naked or semi-nude in front of people is wrong, and it sounds like she does, then she doesn't believe these people are actual people. Pretty sure it's not acceptable to be naked or semi around strangers without their consent. A man doing this around female employees would be a criminal. Not the asshole. Her behavior and justification are not normal at all. Info. Since when are staff not actual people? OP replies, I don't know. I thought that statement was alarming. If she doesn't consider them real people, then I have no idea what she thinks of me, since I'm no richer than her staff. That is definitely a red flag of her as a person. I would even consider it a bigger deal than the nudity thing. I would think long and hard if you're okay dating with someone who views some people as lesser. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end the episode today. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you thought of it down in the comments below if you did. Don't forget to be hydrating and drinking your water, as always. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.